So synthetic division is our next topic. It's like log division, but the only time you can use synthetic is when you have a factor in the form of x minus c. So here's your steps. You're going to rearrange your polynomial from highest to lowest degree. You're going to write c for the divisor, so it will give you a factor of like x minus c, and what you do is you change the sign, or if it tells you just the factor is a number, then you can just put that in for c. And what we're going to do is we're going to write down all our coefficients right on that top line. We bring down that first number and then we multiply c by that bottom number, add it to the second column, and repeat that process, and then we're going to write our quotient. So taking a look at this first example, it says divide x cubed plus 4x squared minus 5x plus 5 by x minus 3. Well, x minus 3 is a factor, so I know it equals 0. So x equals 3. So that is my c value. So to set this up, it's going to be 3. Then I have to look at my coefficients in here. So I have 1, 4, -5, and 5. Now I bring down the first number, which is 1, and I do 3 times 1, which is 3, and then add it. So 4 plus 3 is 7. Then I repeat the process. So 3 times 7 is 21. 21 minus 5, or -5 plus 21, is 16. And then 3 times 16 is 48. 48 plus 5 is just 53. So this last number, that is your remainder. So now to write this function, well, I know my factor is x minus 3. So it's going to be x minus 3, and then I always start with a degree lower. So in my original one I have x cubed, which means in this one I'm going to start with x squared. So it's going to be 1 x squared, and then I just keep going down the line. So plus 7x, and then plus 16, and then remember the remainder goes on the outside, plus 53. And then it equals what I had as my original equation. So what you just did is you factored your equation by using division. So let's try another problem. So use synthetic division to divide 5x cubed plus 6x plus 8 by x plus 2. Well, first I have to figure out my c. So it says by x plus 2. So I set that equal to 0, which means x has to be -2. So my c is -2. So now I have to notice that here I'm missing an x squared term. So to fill that void, I put a 0 in that spot, just like we do with long division. So 5, 0, 6, 8. And now I drop down that first term. I multiply it by -2 and I get -10. 0 plus -10 is just -10. -2 times 10 is 20. 6 plus 20 is 26, and then 26 times -2 is -52, and then I add 8 to that, which is -44. So again, that's my remainder, and now I just write my expression. So you can always put what you started off with out in front, and then we say it's equal to, well, I was dividing by x plus 2. Then I'm left with 5x squared. So remember, we start with a degree lower. Since it's x cubed, we start with x squared minus 10x plus 26, and then minus my remainder of 44. So let's try one more. So here's my example. It's asking me to divide the two. Well, to figure out c, I set my real 0 equal to 0. And then x equals 2, so 2 is my c. And I set it up as 2, 1, -10 from these coefficients. Now I drop down the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. And then 2 times 5 is 10. -10 plus 10 is just 0. So this does not have a remainder, which means it factors nicely. So this factors into x minus 2 and then 2x plus 5. So you're going to repeat this process throughout the practice section. The rest of the practice section is your homework.